That's your show.
Hi, you're watching Dead TV Live, and I'm just going to take a quick little call with my friend Bev Davies. Here's Bev Davies breaking up. I really like that. I hope it comes back because if you missed it, Bev was doing this really, really cool pixelated pyramid. There she goes a little bit. I really like that. Some psychedelia. Okay, Bev brought up just a minute ago about acoustic music, or not acoustic music. She said there's so many people without any music in their life. What were you hinting at, Bev?
What was I hinting at?
Yeah, people without
How
music.
fortunate we are to have music in our lives.
Yeah, well, what about?
Yeah, they just don't have it. You know, you talk to somebody, you ask them, what do you listen to, and they go, well, I really like the Beatles' third album. You know, it's like, well, wasn't that a bit ago? You know.
Yeah, it's all about Hard Day's Night and then Rubber Soul and Revolver, and the rest of the stuff is just filler. Even they know that.
Yeah.
They're just twiddling their thumbs. Even Yellow Submarine. It's not cohesive.
I think we're really fortunate.
We're rich.
To have a community of people, because you realize that community that you have people with Dead Beat love music. They all love music, what we have in common.
Sure, but you know, when we go back to
similar.
Go ahead.
When we go back to what?
When you go back to one of my records, like, and This Is Our Music, Tomorrow's Heroes Today, and I realized when I was drinking so hard on the West Coast, I said, all these people that like music, boy, there's this common denominator. And it looked like to me that they all had music school. Now I'm just ringing you, seeing if I can get you back on the horn. But to me it looked like they all had been to music school. So I just went ahead, I was like, wow, all these people that really love music, there's something in common. They all know how to play an instrument from band class when they were little kids. So I just started asking people, do you know how to play cello? Do you know how to play this, that, or the other? And that came up. So let's listen to a song while I'm trying to get Bev back on the line. I'll just find I gotta figure out how to spell it. How am I gonna find this song? I can't get Bev back on. I'm still looking, folks.
I'm on.
Okay. You are on. Here, let me grab you again. So let me go back to our conversation. What I was telling these people was, when I was making this record, I started just picking people out of the bars because it occurred to me that everybody had been, they're not only these fans, but everybody had been to band class. And that's why they could hear music on this deep level. So I started going, does anybody know anybody who played cello? Anybody knows anybody who plays tuba, whatever? And I made a whole orchestra. But going back to you,
I never played any instruments.
You never went to band class. You see, it might have been before your
time.
No,
art school. I mean, I went to art class, like when people went off to band, I'd go off to art.
Is that what they called taking acid back in your day? Art?
that was a different part of it.
Finger painting?
Finger painting. No, we took serious, art, I'm a graduate. I have a certificate. I'm a certified artist.
Yeah, then you worked for the government, making pots?
20 years.
For 20 years. See? Why'd you spend all that time getting an art background just to go into the civil services? Tell us
money.
Money. You needed some money. But, people sell machine guns or drugs or something, and they make money. People are prostitutes. People do all kinds of stuff for money.
Yeah, but I needed a pension.
You wanted a pension. You didn't want to end up in a jail institution or death. You just said, give me a pension.
Not yet.
Well, now, what do you think about this whole thing with austerity? And they're like, well, everybody's got to get rid of their pension and everybody's got to work a little bit older. Because you look to me like you could get in the backyard and grab a shovel. My Nana does.
Yeah, I probably could.
You don't
Yeah,
want it.
I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a part-time job.
Really? What do you see yourself doing? Because I thought you do your art.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of theaters that are owned by the city of Vancouver, and I was thinking about applying there as an usherette, where you're just on call. They call you in, that
Really cool.
Brian Eno is playing, and you get to be an usherette for a
See,
night.
but everybody's got all the same dreams. And there's only so much sleep he does for Tinkerbell
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
crew. They only can carry their sack so full. But it's like everybody's big dream is to win the lottery, and to me that being an usherette sounds like it's like L.A. At the Hollywood Bowl. Everybody wants that job all season long.
Yeah.
You just look at that. Oh, it's Brian Wilson playing Pet Sounds with the orchestra. I want to be an usherette. So,
Yeah, one of the things that the Queen Elizabeth Theatre in the city hires is
QE.
not really young people. They hire older people too.
I think that's beautiful. So Canada here on the one hand is completely draconian. It says poor little Anton, who's like a little kid with a gray beard. He's not allowed in our country. But here we got David Icke coming in. He's going to talk about the Queen being a lizard, and we got all these other wackos. And then we're just going to be really fair and let Bev be an usher along with some young whippersnappers.
Maybe not.
Is that
Maybe
scale
not.
just spinning wildly up there in Ottawa, or what the hell is going on?
Where's Ottawa?
I think it's your capital,
You
right?
know, yeah, I know. They have more kinds of police in Ottawa than you would believe.
Really? Do they have chocolate ones?
No, they have the RCMP, they have the provincial, the Ontario
Let's tell people
Police,
let's start with the first one. The RCMP would be the Royal
the Royal
Canadian
Canadian
Mounted.
Police.
Yeah, the Mounties.
They're the ones that smell like horse shit.
Not all of them. I'm sure they've got the guy that drives a helicopter. He never even steps and shit. He might land in it sometimes.
And then there's the Ontario Provincial Police. Not every province has, like I think in the States, every state has
State
provincial
troopers.
or state troopers. But like we don't have any here in British Columbia. We just have the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and our local, city police in the cities that have them.
Well, the Rockies traditionally out there, they had the Mounties. They had the authority with the Redcoats. So I think that's why you just don't have them, is because of the tradition of the Cascade Mountains going up through there.
Yeah.
I think that's what
We got
British Columbia was a territory first, I think.
Till the railway came through.
Well, also the Yukon Territory. But also the railway, a big part of that railway was building all those chateaus and putting civilization out there. And the railway wasn't just about the gold and supplies going one way. They wanted to encourage Canadians and North Americans in general to come up there and enjoy this beautiful bounty. So they hired Swiss architects and all these climbers and guides to come up there, and they build all these chateaus and all these beautiful things that poor Anton can never see, because evidently Anton's a troublemaker, but I'll be damned.
They say for every mile of railway track across Canada, one of the workers died.
Well, both those railways and the highway, a lot of Americans built that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of
They brought Chinese.
Yeah, but a lot of the
police
North
and
Americans were involved in
there.
all that stuff. North Americans,
Yeah.
not just Americans. So, what's anybody's guess that you think that I could overturn their decision?
Whose decision? The Canadian one?
Yeah, the
Fill
one.
out the 132 pages. Whatever that is that.
I'll bet you money.
talking
I don't even.
about.
I'll bet you money that I don't even lift a finger.
And you get back in.
Well, somebody will do it. I might have to sign here, there, and sign there. It's called
Yeah.
power of attorney.
I don't think it's really hard.
Well, they didn't seem too
You just have
concerned.
to have
Like,
all
if I wanted to talk to them, they didn't seem too concerned if I just paid them $250 and pretended like that I understood how serious it was. But I was pissed by that point after I'd already done that, because I don't think that's a joke. Just, we'll come in here and waste your time and you just pay us $250, because I'm always like, what do you really want?
Well, the other thing that they do to bands, I mean, we don't get any bands up here because of the border these days. People come up and deadhead in Seattle and turn around and go back.
What a bunch of hooey.
Yeah, I know. They don't let them bring up their T-shirts. They don't let them bring up their records.
I'm not worried about losing money.
and they they make people, like, I remember the Dills came up here years and years ago.
Yes.
They made them pay like $2,000 at the border
Is
to
that
make
all?
sure their equipment got back.
Is all
Yeah,
that?
I mean that was like 1980. That was a lot of
That
money.
is a lot of money. But they probably spent
they
spent that in overtime for the police for one of those shows. So they
So
probably
they paid like $2,000 to get into Canada to ensure that their equipment would come back in American money, and they got it back 6 months later in Canadian money. So they lost. I mean, they lost about 10 cents on the dollar.
Talk about Chinese jokes, right? The guy at the border just said supplies. Wow.
So how are you today?
I don't know. I was figuring maybe we'd play a song.
That's good.
Because I was talking about, and this is our music, so let's listen to Choose. It's a record. It means we'll see you again. And I'm going to say that right now. Is it kind of goodbye, or maybe it's like, no, I'll never see you again, Canada. I can never figure it out because I talked to one person and they're like, no, auf Wiedersehen is one way. But Choose is like, see, Choose means we'll see you again because they always say it at the store. And if they were like, thank you, don't come back, they wouldn't say Choose.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? But I knew that already. So my German friend's trying to fill my head full of poo-poo. But good luck. There's no room in there for that.
I was going to say that.
So we'll pick up this phone call in a minute.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about this idea I had when I was switching trains. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can I call? Do I have permission to call you back in a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here we go.
Just why there's nothing that remains except for yellow round bottles, yesterday's muddled goodbyes, goodbye, my love, goodbye. That you said you would always love me. Your lies are grey clouds float by, bye bye, my love, bye bye. Sinking slow.
Hi, you're watching. Whoa! Some little dude from space. No, actually, it's just little old me from California.
I'm just trying to find somewhere else to be.
Anyways, you're watching Dead TV Live. My name's Anton. I have a band called the Brian Jonestown Massacre, but also I'm a multimedia pioneer of sorts. I do all kinds of stuff. I have my own program. I work with many artists. We're based in central Berlin, but we simulcast out of Reykjavik, Iceland. This is Dead TV, and it's a multinational mixed media project. We deal with arts and conversation and ideas and Imagineering. We do all kinds of stuff. We have many hats. As you can see, I'm wearing 4 of them right now. We live in great times. That song was called Choose. That was Kurt from the Lilies. Boy, I should just play another one of his songs really quick, huh? The singer, just since I mentioned him. Let me see if I can find it. Should I just play one? I should, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen to a Lily song. This one's off a record called Recollection, and then I'll come back to you because I love this. I love that man so much. He's just really spiritual and mystic, but just a real great guy from Philadelphia. And I got so many friends in Philadelphia. I want to just put this out here. This is Kurt Heasley and his fabulous Lilies. The record is called Recollection, and this track is called Will My Lord Be Gardening, I think. I love it. It's so great. Here we go.
Shake it, get the leaf off, caterpillar moth, with no time for questions, segment, fellow blossom, falling's awesome. Never did we stand a chance. We did what was possible.
TV. We are the radio.
Okay. Hi, it's Anton. That was the Lilies. And as you saw, I've got Bev here snacking away. Oh, cozy. Let me turn her volume up right here. Okay, and she's on the west coast of Canada, which is also referred to as the left coast. You got to figure all this stuff out. This show moves real fast. Hi, Bev. Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
I was giving her a hard time of going, oh, no, I need to make new friends. I need to troll the chat room for victims or something for people to be on my show. Why do I get so lonely? Is it because I'm so far out?
Yeah, that must be it.
You think
That's
so?
a good answer. Far out, man.
I'm all the way out.
The far out man. Oh.
He's a real far out man, living in a far out land, making all his far out plans for nobody. He's got
Who's that?
He's got so many points of view. Doesn't like the Beatles too. Knows every single fucking tune. Isn't he a lot like you and me? Oh, Anton Fjordsen, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Put on the Wings Volume 2 and sail away. Bow, bow, bow. I wonder if they'll ever give me a real show. What do you think? From space? Could you see me in my little astronaut suit going, children, all my children, they've cloned my DNA like so many times. They're like, this is exactly what we want. And then, so I'm like talking to my digital nursery, but it takes like 6 months. But I've got a button to press, you know, like the communications take so long. I'm like, it's like, it's kind of like 2001. But I'm that dude in the white room because I kind of like that style. I used to watch that movie and go, that's my dad right there for sure on Cassini.
I'm trying to sit up. It gets harder and harder to sit up.
But this form of communication of my friendship, go ahead.
No, I'm doing nothing here. I'm just trying to
Can,
move around so that I don't look like a person with flat hair, but it just doesn't work.
can you see that this form of communication and all this stuff that I'm talking about is like so similar? It's like I probably won't see your face for 6 months or more, and we're communicating through this digital medium. It's just like I was on Mars or a spaceship almost, you know?
Yeah, except there's the internet. I'm not sure if there would be on a space shuttle.
Why wouldn't there be
Everything goes through Houston, you know?
Yeah, but Houston doesn't have a problem with Anton. Houston has a problem with the idiots.
Yeah.
Anton knows better than to tag the Houston's control thing or the dish going.
I wouldn't be good at space travel because I get car-sick.
See, I don't
For
care
sure
about
I'd
that
get
stuff.
Spaceship sick.
See, I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't even care how alien that we look to fish from the bottom of the ocean. See, because when you're pulling those things up and they look at us, do we look funny to
Do we
them
look
too?
like food?
No, we look
Do we
like
look like food?
holy shit. We look all illuminated.
Oh, okay. As long as we don't look like food.
We got these things. All they know is that we're in control of them. So we're like these aliens. See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's all they know is they're like, holy shit, I can't move.
I don't fish. Do you fish?
Well, I was a fisherman. I grew up on the coast there in Newport Beach, and my family, I told you, in the tackle store. So I used to just get the free trips on the boats. So if you imagine like down there at one of those harbors and they got those like day boats where everybody would go out for salmon, you know, we had all that stuff. I grew up privileged that way, but you have to remember with Keith Richards is writing about Bakersfield, everybody was Okies. It wasn't like it was now. They were all into being white and all that stuff, but they were like the Okies. If you read Grapes of Wrath, and Cannery Row. Oh, that's all the people that I grew up was the Cannery Row folks. So they were all these ethnic people and really hard work and come from the Depression. It was a little bit different. See, they could even, after they survived the Depression, they could even relate to the Mexicans and stuff that they hired because they've been through that whole thing. Talk about
Right.
walking through the desert to a place with no name with your whole family. See, they'd been there and done that. So they never looked down on Mexicans. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to really like that Ry Cooder album.
They're
with,
fucking
The
hermano.
cover was
Familia.
him in some kind of car with the top down, and it had that song about how can you keep on moving, about migration. You couldn't migrate, but you had to keep moving along, but you weren't allowed to migrate.
That's
During the
true.
Great Depression.
Yep. In California, they had guys with axe handles on every road and every train. They'd stop the trains and beat your whole family up, except for the kids. So it'd just be the ladies and the kids stand there as all the guys and teenagers got their ass kicked, and they go, "Thank you, come again. Welcome to California.
Yeah, but
Thank you, come again."
You couldn't stay where you were because you were, you had to move, but you couldn't migrate. Just so weird. I think.
Absolutely true. The whole topsoil of those people just got up and left. So it was all those people that tried to ride it out, and you still go out there to Norman, Oklahoma, and look at those lawns, the people that have stuck to that city, where they just kind of swept the city. They kept the city going with that oil money. And you still look at those lawns, here it is, it's like, what is it, 2011? It's coming up on 100 years since that stuff started to blow away, and they still can't plant a sod on top of it. It's just like,
Wow.
it just looks like Mars. You just drive down the streets, it's like Mars, where Flaming Lips live. But yeah, so that song and this next one, Here to Go, we were talking about music and how people don't have music, and I was just thinking I'm going to get some of my friends here in Germany to learn a couple of my songs, including Free and Easy, to we should go down the subway and play with an army of these acoustic guitars, all these old 40s guitars and stuff I'm buying. If I teach them this stuff and I start playing harmonica with a harmonica holder on, and we start singing loud in this oaky style, I think people in Germany here are going to be freaking out. Because I know
That's excellent.
yeah, I know we would kick the shit out of any random group of people that are going to show up in that subway tunnel, even if it's cold. And we could just play one of my songs like Free and Easy forever. But we're going to go back to Here to Go from Brian Jonestown Massacre. And this is off the same record. See, when I played that Lily song, he slipped me that disc, and that's an independent record, and it never even really caught traction. I hear the Decemberants have #1 song in the record in the country, and they're not even, congratulations to them, but you know what I mean, that's light compared to me. Everybody's rooting for the Beatles, but the Beatles make sure there's no music that's ever as good as the Beatles on radio, because that would just wipe out the Beatles in a second. Like if I had the Beatles army, if I was Paul McCartney and I had a John Lennon in my band, we could just pick anybody to be John Lennon these days. I would just lay waste to their legacy in about 2 years. You know?
I think life has wiped out half of the Beatles. When you think about it, almost all of the Ramones.
Well, yeah, but you know what the life expectancy for anybody who's done acid is? 0, depending on your perspective, right? Everybody dies, except for Anton and his DNA, because they're going to copy that stuff, because they're going to go, turns out old Anton was right about all this stuff. While everybody was watching those Middle East troubles yesterday, you know what I found? See, I already saw some stuff. I saw an image of a UFO on the Dome of the Rock.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were, from yesterday morning, they were videotaping UFOs over Israel, putting them on the internet. Meanwhile, everybody's watching the riots next door. Here's these things pulling right-hand turns over at right when they're at morning prayer with their camera. They're filming UFOs above their head over Jerusalem. So the rest of the world's going, Jesus, don't hurt the mummy. Meanwhile, less than 800 kilometers away, there's these machines, they can't even tell what they are. Something's going on, right? Isn't that great?
The day that the Americans walked on the moon, with that big moon thing.
Sure.
There were Sasquatches spotted at the border between the United States and Canada.
I love it.
And that was that was the real story. You know, that came on the radio like before the thing about the moon.
See, you and I are no dummies, so we just love this stuff. So I sent that to John Carling because I thought he would get a kick out of it because him and I, we're artists and we like art. So I didn't go and tell everybody yesterday about this news. They can read about it today or whatever. They probably
Who
won't even.
makes those amazing triangular spaceship things?
We do all that
like
stuff.
those.
We're like triangles are a fucking trip, guys. You really freak out when you find out. But we put that in all of our stuff so when people can't go, oh, when they try and figure out what I'm about, they'll go back to they'll try and learn at the last minute, right? They'll try and learn what I'm about to pretend they're me again or whatever. And then you'll just go back and you'll look at all my records and you'll go, that little punk, he's been on this shit for the whole time. Like even We Are the Radio, people can't believe that somebody could have 20 years doing something and have 20-year plans or something and have everything just encoded everywhere and just everywhere you look and it's all analog and you can't wipe it out and it doesn't matter if your computer goes down and it's on disk and it's and I'm just laughing the whole time. And then what's the message? You start looking at the message and I'm just going, oh, here's the message now. Isn't this heavy? Boo. Here's the message right here. It's the angle of the triangle. Your eyes are closed now.
What are they? Those equilateral triangles and those ones. I did take geometry. I was in those ones. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's quite good, isn't it? All this.
I love how it keeps coming closer, and you kind of forget at some point that used to be far away, and now you're looking at the far away stuff that gets closer.
Well, sweetheart, what was really interesting? I was listening to Jesus. Her name was Ursula Lee Guin. Yeah, Le Guin. And her mother wrote Ishi about that guy who just gave up. He was the last California Indian. And he was up by Sacramento when they founded California. And in 1911 or 1918, he just come walking out of the hills. He was a Yaqui Indian, and he'd seen his whole tribe wiped out. And he lived for years off those miner shacks and stuff. And he just come walking out of the forest on my birthday one day. And she said that I posted that link on my Facebook. She said that he probably just wanted them to kill him. So they arrested him, put him in county jail, and her dad worked for she's a professor at Berkeley, but she's in her 80s now or late. And she this was on BBC World Service, the interview. And she just her dad ended up trying to communicate with them, and they thought he was like this dumb caveman for a long time. And then he told them he was like master of technology. People forget that making bread is technology. It's the cell phones and shit and all this texting stuff that's gotten out of hand that nobody saw would happen or whatever. But the rest of it, from the inside out, the people that set all this trouble up from the inside out, designing these codes that put these switches in there to shut everything off and turn it on and all this mumbo jumbo, right? That's been going on. And so that none of these geniuses even saw coming because they didn't invent it. So she was just giving a great talk last night, even though she's a sci-fi writer and a lot of people hate her. But so anyways, her dad made the recordings. You can actually go in the Library of Congress. So you can hear this guy talking in this tongue that's completely extinct. And when he died of tuberculosis, he was the end. Great book called Ishi when you're a little kid to read. So anyways, her dad didn't want anything to do with it, with the project of writing this book. So when the publishing deal was offered, so her mother, her dad just went, well, my wife likes to talk a lot. Maybe she'll write a book. So she wrote that book, and that's called Ishi. But the same thing's happening right now, and I think that's why BBC just. So what I was getting at is the BBC just brought up. I was looking on BBC, and they discovered the farthest galaxy, the oldest one ever, they think. Yeah. And this one's 480 million years. They're like, oh, it's 13.5 billion years old. But they're going to find out that everything's like 16 billion years because the Aztec clock goes back that far. So they're going to find out that it goes back farther than that. But you know what happens when you go back and it's like, no, okay, say like it is 12 billion or whatever the number is, right? But you know what happens when you're going back and you're looking at something that was only like 430 million years old after the Big Bang or whatever? Because what if they find out there's something before the Big Bang? Amazing, right?
It was.
Yeah. So,
What's up?
but anyway, so they find this thing, man. Once you start going back that far, guess what you're doing, man? I bet you there's something just looking at you. Just going, wow, look what I just saw. Fast as the speed of light. So as you're going racing to pick up this old light, it's a set of eyes zooming right at you. Going,
Right.
there it is, right there. Holy shit, it's got eyes. And on that note, we are here to go. watching Dead TV Live. I got to go back to Bev and say goodbye at least, I think. And then we're going to have Alexander Lawrence on, I think. He's my friend who's a writer from Los Angeles, but let's see if I get... Hi, Bev. What's going on?
Oh, I was just talking to Space Girl. I'm just going to tell her I'll be right back.
Space Girl, Space Boy.
She's watching the show.
Oh, cool. You know, like a lot of people have been telling me they've been watching us on this these applications for iPhone. The Ustream application for iPhone.
Yeah, evidently it didn't used to be there. That must be new.
That's cool. I mean, people in Scotland and people in Sweden are just getting on it. So who knows what our real ratings are, but that's like, people are calling me up about doing satellite TV with this. And the thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to be pressured into doing something that I don't want to do. Like I told you before, it was never my intention to be a presenter, but some people think I'm good at it. I think I'm better than a lot of people at it. But I'm hoping
Yes,
that
I think so too.
I'm hoping that everybody uses my own influence. Like the reason why I started playing music was I was watching these punk rockers going, well, that guy's a bonehead. Well, I think a lot of people understand that I'm not really a bonehead. I'm actually very intelligent and can multitask really well. I think a lot of people that have even tried to use this Ustream understand that it still takes a little bit of intelligence to be able to do all this stuff and be like the calm host guy. With one of my hands, I'm searching the internet, copying stuff, and doing whatever.
Yeah.
In the other hand, I'm smoking, and I'm talking, and I'm not looking at what I'm typing, and I'm talking.
Yeah. Because, I mean, a lot of people like in radio, and I mean, just even radio, they have all these engineers and people helping them and script people. And,
Yeah, my wife doesn't even help me, but I don't need a script because this is like,
No.
neither does Rush
Real.
Limbaugh, but the difference is I'm not some hothead lunatic who's trying to sell you something. I think everybody knows that too. I mean, we sell our art, and selling something, that was a Blue Angel Lounge. We put that record out, I co-produced some of it, and those were kids from Hagen, Germany. So I'm selling you on the idea of taking a German vacation, being respectful when you come over here. So what else is up my little limit drop?
Little limit. Oh, God, that's funny.
Do you like lemon drops?
Yeah. But I do remember, like, with the Lifesavers, I always liked the red ones best.
You know, that I was thinking in Anton's perfect world, I'd make all the ugly colored ones like these great flavors. It just trick everybody. At one day, just switch them all to the best flavor because it's just a food dye, right? So everybody's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want the yellow one, and you're just laughing all the way to the bank. All the
But
kids on the
no.
bus hand them over, and it's just all these great fruits because you come from a tropical world.
I only had one dog in my life when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I used to eat his dog biscuits every now and again.
Oh, my sisters used to feed me dog food and laugh.
Just, the biscuits that look like little bones, and they come in different colors.
You're crazy.
And honest to God,
Milk
the red
bone.
one tasted best. And the black ones that had charcoal.
Here we are arguing over. Look at what. Could we be in a worse
But lemon
position?
drop is fine.
Yeah. Could we be in a worse position? You're like, we're arguing over what's the best flavored dog biscuit. Unreal.
Yeah, well, it's late over here, so you're dealing with somebody.
Well,
else.
okay, I'll let you go then.
No. Well, I mean, if you want to let me go. You can
Well,
let me
you
go,
know,
but
my
I'm-
friend from LA wants to talk, and he's told me a couple pieces of information. One of our heroes passed away, so I want to bring that up.
Yes. So you do that.
But I
thank
love you
for
madly.
I love you madly too, Anton.
Cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
We share this.
Yes.
This is our time.
Yes. And I'll watch for a while. I'm going to get some sleep because I got stuff to do tomorrow.
Why don't you make some chamomile tea or something wholesome? Have a lemon drop.
Okay.
We're old people. Don't we have giant bowls of candy set out for everyone, just in case? That's been there for like
No.
5 years in a giant rock. so the kids can't really even rate it because it's just like 1 kilo of candy because it's been
Oh,
there
my
since
parents used to
1942.
My parents used to buy the worst candies at Christmas time. Like they were hard as rocks and they were shaped
Fruitcakes.
like ribbon, kind of.
Bunch of fruitcakes
Oh.
your parents were. So I'm going to label
Yeah,
this
it's
one.
not this.
Okay, I'm just going to hit this dead TV thing. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. So let's wave goodbye to each other.
I'm trying to find my hand. Find my
Alien
hand.
hand. All right, here we go.
Oh, there it is.
Bye, Bev. This is Dead TV. We'll be back in a minute.